What is up, everybody? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today we need to jump back into the action on Kaspa. I have not done a Kaspa update in several weeks, but of course, now we have something to talk about. So we'll look at this chart and break it down. And of course, please do not take any of this as financial advice. Do your own due diligence. Trading is risky. Be very careful in this crazy market, and know that if you're taking a chance on things, you could lose everything and end up as a homeless bum living on the side of the river, subsiding on government cheese. All right, so here we are on the 4-hour Kaspa chart. And of course, we see this big, huge green candle as Kaspa has decided out of nowhere to just go vertical. This is quite interesting as we see somewhat of a divergence in the stochastic, as the stochastic is kind of headed down a little bit, but of course prices continue to go up and then shot straight up. The oscillators on the MACD are showing a very strong divergence. Here's the fast line. The blue line is shooting straight up and diverging away from the slow line. And as we were approaching the zero line, printing light green bars on the histogram, just out of nowhere we reverse, and this is kind of an unnatural action, and this proves a point that even though the indicators were saying that we were going to correct and go down, I was thinking that this was the top of the action right here, but lo and behold, after kind of meeting a little bit of resistance right there, we decided to go vertical. So what's going on? Well, first of all, you see something new on my chart, and it is this green box. This represents the support and resistance zone from prior action. As we had peaked at 1 cent way back before, and we'll look at that on the one-day chart next. And I was pretty much thinking that we were going to correct, and sure enough, we did not. We blew straight through it, and this is a very important technical move. Why? It's because we blew straight through the support and resistance zone, and we're above it, sitting at 1.07 cents, while the stochastic is still going down, which is very odd. We had several fake crossovers here where it looked like we were going to cross over bearish here, and then we crossed over bearish again here, but the action is moving straight up. What can we expect? Well, we're going to have to zip through to the next chart to really see what's going on, because right here on the 4-hour chart, all we have to go by is this volume cluster here that has sucked the price in. We see a nice little cluster of trading action right there. And then from that point, it looks like we may be establishing a new base of support. So let's clear this and jump to the one-day chart and see what it looks like here. Now, we can see clearly that we had this previous peak right at 1 cent and a rejection. It didn't want to stay above that. And that is where we established this zone right here, support and resistance, where we looked like we were going to bounce around. Normally, you bounce around in this zone before you decide to break out. But we didn't bounce around in it. We just went straight through it here and poked our head above the line. Now, we don't see much action on the VPVR, so we can't really make any predictions of where we go from here. And my best guess will be that we'll have to possibly come down and correct. And if we do, maybe the previous zone of resistance has flipped and becomes a zone of support. So we might see some corrective action and then a bounce up if we continue the bullish action. Now, to the contrary, we have a more clear bearish crossover right there on the stochastic. But at the same time, the MACD oscillators have diverged. You see this divergence here, and we had several points that we looked like we were going to have crossovers to the bearish side. One is here, the second is here. But we kept repeating these positive cycles above the zero line. Here's the first cluster. Here's the second cluster. Here is the third cluster. That is very bullish and strong. We also have an overall ascending stochastic, where we started here at the bottom. We had a double bottom, and then it's just been moving up ever since then, where we were looking at the fact that we bounced before entering to the oversold zone and made a new higher low. This is kind of a lower high, but it's still in the middle zone where we never did complete a total cycle down, coming back downstairs into the oversold zone. If we do cycle down here, what I'll be looking for is if this stochastic cycles all the way down and we're still up in this range, my assumption will be that we will have support at this box and bounce off. If we don't, then we'll probably look for a correction that brings us back down to this cluster, somewhere in this area here at this node, or worst case scenario, back to the point of control price at 0.0065. Now, it could be that it's the mining. I've heard from various reports that mining on Kaspa is very profitable. And as we mine more profitably, it could establish this base of support where this bullish action continues. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Now let's jump to the 1 week chart, and we see here the 1 week is looking very bullish. Why? Because the stochastic is still opened up here, and we are still headed up north, trying to make it up into the overbought zone. So if we enter into that zone on the 1 week stochastic, I would look for Kaspa to establish this base here and then continue on higher. Now that'll be exciting. Now what am I going to do? I had thought about possibly selling at the peak. Let's just put a little circle here at this peak somewhere here. I was thinking about selling there and buying back once we get into this volume cluster here, but I don't think I'm going to take any chances, and I don't want to deal with having to report a gain. I think I'll just ride it out, because in the long run, it's all going to come back up when we hit the next bull market. The Kaspa project is running strong, so I would expect that once the bull market resumes, which I don't think we're there yet, we're still in a bear market in crypto overall, but once the bull market starts, I think that we can look at this zone as possibly support, and maybe we bounce up from that zone and continue higher. Now, do you have any insight about why Kaspa is making this strong bullish movement? Let me know in the comments if you are more on the expert level with the mining, because I think that's what we are looking at. Overall, I think Kaspa is really showing strength. Let's move back to the 1 day chart here, and we can see all of the action since the correction. We came soaring up to 1 cent, all the way back down to about half a cent here between 0.004 and 0.005, and since then it's just been overall strength as we have higher low after higher low. Each time we are bouncing off of the 50 EMA line. That's the orange one as support. We wicked down to it here, didn't even stay there. It was just a wick on this 1 day chart, and then upward we go. So overall, I'm very pleased. I'm glad that I held through this previous area. I tried to do a little swing trading here and I got burnt. And after it started to move up again, I said, forget it. I'm just going to buy back what I can and ride it out for the duration. Well, that's all I've got for this quick report for Kaspa, but I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And if you would like to help support the channel, you can do so by submitting a super thanks. And I thank you in advance if you would help me to defray the costs of producing my channel. That's all I've got for now, and we'll keep our eyes on this, and I'll be back. And don't forget, post in the comments and let me know your thoughts of why you think the Kaspa is on this monumental bullish run. We'll see you next time.